Today's video is a part of our Jamaican garden tour series where we're going to be showing you flowers and plants from the beautiful island of Jamaica when we visited. Today we're specifically looking at heat-tolerant plants in Lady V's garden and others that are near to hers.
Welcome to Jamaica.
Never been here before? My name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. So these right here, guys, these are some beautiful Ixora and I absolutely love them. You can see that the flower heads are basically an inflorescence of smaller flowers that are tubular, and hummingbirds absolutely love them. They adapt to the warmer weather by having like a gloss on their leaves so they don't lose as much water, and the leaves are pretty tough as well. And it comes in many different colors, but this one is an absolute favorite of mine. I think it is so beautiful. My mom's legacy lives on. You can also use it as a flower in your hair because it holds up pretty well throughout the day. So it's not going to like droop or fade. Over here you can see there's some more next to this palm tree right here, which I think it just looks so wonderful. And right over them we have a mango tree, and there are mangoes on the tree. Most of them are already ripened and fallen, but there are quite a few still left in there. They were constantly falling throughout the day, and that was great for us. So over here now we are showing that there are still some leaves that are springing out even though it is the summertime, so they adapt really well to the climate. We have some crotons over there, a very nice dark color. And right here we have a house cane plant that is maybe about 7 feet tall. So they grow really, really tall in their natural habitat. And these are some of the mangoes that fell, guys. And these are called Julie mangoes, and they're absolutely delicious. By the end of the day, this is what we had harvested from what had fallen. This over here is another plant that is very, very tropical, and it adapts really well to the warm weather as well too. And these are hibiscus plants, and these are the original ones, not like some of the hybrid ones that we'll see, sometimes at the garden center. This is where it starts. And these ones actually have some variegated varieties here too. You can see some of the leaves there that they are white or they're speckled with a little bit of green on them. And I think it just adds that interest. Over here, this is called coral fountain or firecracker plant. And this is a hummingbird magnet. Again, those red tubular flowers help to pull them in. We also have, this is called, this is a grass that grows very, very well next to it. And they pair so well together. On the other side, we have some crotons over here. This one in particular, it has small leaves. And this is also an adaptation as well. So it doesn't dry out very quickly. And we also have snake plant, or sansevieria, some people call it, and some crinum next to it. And I hear that a lot of people keep asking from time to time for some of that croton because it's so wonderful. And look over here, guys. This gives it this nice tropical oasis feeling because it has a driftwood there. It has, like stones there. And it just gives you the feeling of a nice, cool, tropical oasis. So brother is doing very well there. Over here now, we're going to take a look at some plants that adapt by growing in the shade. So over here, this is the mango tree right here. We have some plants that are climbers that are on it. We have a giant pothos, and you can see where it starts right there. And we have the monstera plant, and there are also some crotons under there. So these plants, they basically grow. They're volunteer plants, and they just grow where it's best for them, to survive. And you can see they do so well, growing all the way up several feet up in the tree. And I think it just looks so warm and relaxing under there. I should say so cool and relaxing under there. And the leaves are pretty large too, guys. Some people grow them in their home in the United States and other countries, but here they're growing, in nature. You can see how large they actually get. So it's pretty big. This is another house cane over here. Again, growing in a part shade area, so that way it can basically hide away from the heat. This to this side here is a grapevine. And grapevines are pretty heat tolerant. They're Mediterranean for the most part. The ones that grow here, though, the bunches, they tend to be, the clusters are kind of closer together. And this is a pretty mature vine. It's been around for quite a few years. You can see how one of the vines look there. And there are larger ones going up too. It's pruned back at the right time of the year. We're going to take a look now at some other plants that were close by. And this one here is an absolute favorite of mine. It's a Bougainvillea. and I really love this plant. These are just dancing in the breeze, and this was a nice sunny day. And this was me walking under them to give you a feel of what it looks like when you look up under these plants. Isn't it gorgeous? And they also have the variegated ones as well too, where you have the two-tone color on the leaves. And here are some other ones here, and there's so many different colors of bougainvillea. You have the whites, you have salmon, you have peach, you have pink, you have light red, you have dark red. There's so many of them. What I will tell you though, guys, that these colors that you're seeing here, that those are actually not the petals. Those are actually called bracts. The flowers are those tiny little white ones that you're seeing right there in the center of them. And I think that is just great how they adapt that way, because you know the bracts are more paper-like, so they don't lose a lot of moisture, and it helps the plant to survive. And you can see here that they have a combination, you know, where they grow different colors together. They're kind of intertwined, and it just gives you that beautiful look. This is not graft. This is just how they planted two of them together, and they just grew so well together. This over here now is the view from our hotel room in Kingston. And these, by the way, are, you know, from the city areas where it's a little bit warmer because there's less greenery, less vegetation. And so these plants adapt, you know, very well to the warmer weather that is in those areas. And these are just right by the wayside. You can see how they're growing right there, and they mix and match the colors, and I think they're fabulous. Now this plant that you're seeing right at the very front, that was a vine that was growing right off the balcony where we stayed. It looks like Bougainvillea to me, and I think it might be. I've never seen that color before. If it's not, it's probably, you know, like a close relative. And if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It sends a good message out so that other people can get to watch. And just to say that if you have never subscribed to my channel before, I would so much love if you would do that, so you can follow along on my garden topics, tips and tours. I have so many more videos coming of different things on the island. We'll also get to see a meetup of one of my fellow YouTubers, Stacy from Stacy's Garden. What a wonderful time we have. So be sure to stick around for that, for the next videos. Over here, this looks like the national flower, Lignum vitae. This is not Lignum vitae, but it's probably most likely a very close relative because of how the yellow berries look, and the flowers, the colors, they match really well, and the leaves also. But this has a more cascading habit, but I'm most likely this is going to be like a close relative of the Lignum vitae. Now here's another plant that adapts very well to warm weather, and that would be Oleander. And this plant adapts by having more narrow leaves, so there's less space for it to lose water by transpiration. It also has a fairly thick sap, you know, in the stems and the rest of the plant. Some people say it's toxic, some people say it's medicinal, but I'd say if you handle this plant, be sure to wash your hands when you are finished. And looking at pink flowers, just to let you know that I'll be linking at the end this video where I showed you vinca, which is a very great heat-tolerant plant. And you can watch that video if you haven't done so already when you get to the end of this one. Now we're going to take a look at foliage, just foliage variations. This right here is called a zebra plant. And I think this is so pretty. It has yellow and white and typical green. And if you notice, guys, that the soil is pretty dry right there. There's no mulch on it right there. But this plant is still doing very well. It looks very healthy. And this was in the middle of the day, and it still looks so robust. This one right here is in a more milder area. And you can see the flowers on there. That's how they look when it blooms. But it's pretty even without flowers, guys. Over here next we have crown of thorns. And I saw quite a few of these out there. This is another plant that adapts to warm weather by having thick leaves, almost like a succulent. And it also has thorns on it, hence the name crown of thorns. So be careful with that one. And sometimes also what happens, some of these plants will actually have a little bit dieback just so that the rest of the plant can survive. This one over here, very strange looking plant, I will say. And it actually adapts by having white coating, like a white powder almost on the undersides and a little bit on the top of the leaves as well. So it helps it to hold up that way. This one also here as well adapts with that same coloration where it has a kind of a, you know, like a little white coating on top there. And this actually allows the plant to reflect more heat and it absorbs. So that helps to keep it cool. And this pairs so well with the Ixora, I think. Now over here, these are some more coral flower plant. This is a taller one right here. And I just think they're so beautiful. And look at this, guys, another adaptation here as well, where the plant is just growing under this space right here to just basically hide away from the heat. And here's some more over here as well. This is a hotel that we stayed at somewhere else. You can see the giant pothos leaves right there just to show you how large they are and how beautiful it looks. No flowers required. And we have some philodendron over here as well too. This looks like a philodendron, and they're growing together. And just look at this, guys. They grow all the way up. No help. They just do this all by themselves. And I think it is just so wonderful. Just look at that, guys. It's like it's endless. So plants adapt in different ways. They'll find shade, you know, the way how they grow. These are epiphytes, so they basically just grow on there for support. We have the ones that produce like, you know, more narrow leaves. They produce a thicker sap inside so they don't dry out as easily. You know, they're just different ways that these plants help to protect themselves. Some of them even have a few thorns on them because Bougainvillea does too, so that way it doesn't have to have as many leaves to lose water that way. And crown of thorns, same story here again too. So I just love these wonderful warm colors that are on here. You could tell me what you think, you know, if you have grown any of these before, because these are perennials there, but some of them will grow as annuals if you're in a colder climate. But either way, it's wonderful to enjoy them for this season. So guys, I have so many more, like I was saying earlier in the video, for you, just different things living off the grid. We're going to be looking at shade gardens, you know, botanical gardens. There's a lot coming, guys, so be sure to come along. And also the video where we had our YouTuber gardener meetup in the city, and that was wonderful among all the plants that they had there. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already, and thank you all so much for that keep coming back time and time again. I do hope to see you in the next video. Happy gardening and take care.